Hello my friends and welcome to Flying Circus Models. This is the third and final part of my current project, Jeannin Stahltaube, the final assembly. After the painting, the whole model was covered with the layer of feature and I started to apply decals. The usual process. We need to put micro set first to the place where the decal will be, so this will make the process of adhesion faster. Apply decals and with the help of a cotton stick, remove all air bubbles that can be below decal. This step is very important so the decal can stick and repeat the surface of the model. Once it was completed, I covered the decals with microsole to make it softer and to repeat the shape better. Probably because the model is already old, the cross decals started to break when I tried to position them, but it wasn't critical. Same steps with other decals on the model, like serial numbers, national crosses on the tail, and as you can see the decal there is a bit bigger, so I will need to cut it later. The next step is to glue wings, but before I do it, I wanted to point on the radiators that I glued and I removed the left side of the engine cover. To glue the wings, I applied a heavy layer of super glue, put them on their places and gave a couple of hours for glue to dry. Then I covered the whole model, except of the nose of course, with semi-gloss clear coat. And you can see how the shine of feature disappears with every layer of clear varnish. Now is the time to add a little bit more detailing. Some fuel lines from the gravity tank. I drilled a small hole in the fuel connector that goes to the main tank and glued a 0.6 mm copper wire. Then we need to add one more line to the engine that goes from the top of the tank. Based on the real picture, this line had two different sizes. So I used 0.8 and 0.6 mm brass tube pieces. I inserted them one to another like telescopic tubes and glued copper wires to the sides. Brass tubes were painted in black and copper wires in brass colors. The exhaust pipe was painted in Mr. Hobby number 18 steel color and covered with rust dry pigments. This plane, as almost any other World War I plane, had spoked wheels, and you have two options in the kit, plastic and photo H ones. I decided to go with the last option. Even though photo H parts are flat, the spokes are much thinner. I had to bend it a little to match the wheel diameter and glue very carefully to the rims/tires and central hub. There is one more photo H part, it has to be glued, that will cover spokes on the rims. And here's the plastic wheel option. It also looks okay, but if we compare them with photo H parts, spokes look way too big. I used Tamiya XF22 paint to paint rims and light gray color for the tires. And while I'm painting them, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it yet for some weird reason, and support me on Patreon. Thank you so much. it's that time now, the rigging time. I saw a lot of comments that the rigging on this plane is too complicated. I can say it just looks like that. First, we need to cut a bunch of small brass tube pieces, and I used 0.6mm one from Albion Alloys. It's very easy to do with the regular model knife or scalpel in my case. Just little pressure in order not to bend the tube, and with small rolling moves the tube will be cut. Then I used 1/48 scale one-sided resin turnbuckles from Gaspatch models and glued them on their pre-drilled places with the same angle as the rigging line goes. For the rigging itself, I used Easy Line, and the process is usual to all my projects. Put the line to the turnbuckle, then both of them to the tube piece, fix one side with the super glue, and repeat the process on the other side of the line. Once the glue dried, with this material it's almost immediate process, we can cut the excess rigging. As I said before, the rigging process just looks very complicated. You just need to take your time, don't rush the process, and add one line after another. The trickiest part was to add one end lines. The model has pre-drilled holes, and I glued one end very carefully with super glue, then attached it to the strut in the usual way. And speaking about that, you can see that they were bent a bit with the tension on one side, and I glued the hook with also a lot of tension on other side until it became straight. After a few days of work, the rigging was completed. And yes, I didn't show the whole process because you will be bored with it. You can view it in my how-to video. With the difference, I used easy line, not nylon one, and brass tubes instead of medical needles. The next step is to add more Wizarding effects with the help of Sandy Wash. I applied it to the landing gear and wheels. Once the wash dried, I used dry pigments to add more dust on the wheels, landing gear and the tail section of the model. The final step is to glue the propeller, and I painted it with the same way as on my how-to video and with the help of oil paints. Finally, the model is completed, and I hope you will like the result. As usual, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press like button and leave your comments below. I read and reply to all of them. Also, if you would like to support my channel, you can do it on Patreon, where you can see my videos early. Also, I share some interesting pictures there. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching and see you in the next builds.